What's up guys, my name is Kaylee and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. It's been quite a long time since I've made a YouTube video. I used to make them back in high school, did a few throughout college, gave up a lot, and recently have felt the urge to start making videos again. There's been a lot of topics that I've researched or am searching for and I can't find anything on it. And recently I've been loving watching people's monthly resets, financial videos, all the adulting type of things that I would love to share with you, my perspective and things that I've learned and some niches that I feel like are kind of missing in the YouTube world. So this video is all about my 2023 goals for this year. I'm not a huge resolution person, but I do enjoy writing down a few things. I've been trying to be more proactive about it the past few years, and especially monthly, kind of keeping myself in check. And so I thought this would be a really fun video to hopefully look back on in a year from now and see quite a bit of change and things I can check off. In addition to, I wanted to quickly chat about the past year of my life because I think that will help explain things and what I hope my channel to grow into and why I'm going to be creating certain videos. And so I'll quickly go into that and then we'll jump into my 2023 goals. So real quickly, 2022 was probably the craziest year of my life as far as change goes. It definitely was an awesome one that I'm extremely grateful for, but so much change in 1 year, let me tell you. So a year ago, I was about 3 months out from graduating PA school. I was living in Richmond, Virginia, going to school there. So in March of last year, I finished PA school, passed the pants. Woo! I think I took it about a week after we had graduated. So passed the pants right after PA school. I had been applying for jobs since January of last year. I ended up accepting a job pretty much right after PA school. Accepted that one and it was deemed to start in July, where I currently am now. So in July of last year, we ended up moving to Montana, which has been the best experience. It's been awesome. We've been trying to do trips almost every single weekend, more in the summer, not in the winter time. But it's been just an awesome experience and I'm super, super grateful for. So basically the entire month of July was moving across the country from Virginia to Montana. And then in July, I started my job as an orthopedic trauma physician assistant. So I've been doing that for almost 6 months. This month will be my 6-month anniversary. And you will just not believe how crazy, how fast the time goes by. My first couple months were very, very difficult, to be quite honest. And I don't think anyone truly prepares you for that when you start your first PA job. So that's something I definitely would like to talk about in the future and hopefully give some insight and some tips and things like that to hopefully prepare people for their first PA job, because it was harder than PA school, to be quite honest. So financially, things have changed drastically. I got my last loan payment of what I was living on last January. So basically from January of last year till August of this year, I had no income. That was an experience nobody prepared me for. My advisors, nobody in school prepares you for that kind of thing. And so that's something also I'd like to talk about in the future of how to bridge the gap and how to prepare for that after PA school. So I hope for this channel going forward will be definitely about some PA things in the PA career and some questions I hope to answer, but I definitely don't want that to be my entire personality or everything that I do. I am definitely passionate about finances and getting out of debt and organization of everyday life. So those things I definitely want to chat about and make videos on, as well as the PA. So I hope to mix everything together and definitely give my full personality on this channel. So with that and that brief explanation of the last year of my life, let's get into my 2023 goals. We'll start off with work because that's been the majority of my life. My first goal is to work 4/10s or a shift schedule. Right now, which I'll get into this in a later video, I work on average probably 55 to 60 hours a week, more if I am on call. Work 5, basically 10 to 12 hour days, which is not ideal and something that my attendings and my 2 other coworkers are actively trying to change Again, I'll get into this in a later video, but kind of hard to explain, but we really just started up these positions again and kind of building out our team right now from the orthopedic trauma standpoint. And so there's just a lot up in the air, but also a lot of opportunity to kind of choose what we want to do and create things for a more work-balanced life. So that's one of our goals, is to start doing 4 10-hour shifts or 3 12-hour shifts. So hopefully, I'm hoping in the next few months that that's going to happen, or some type of change for us, because it is just not sustainable. So that's one of my goals this year, is to hopefully start working 4 10s. My second goal for work is to find some type of side gig. I've looked for a lot of PRN positions, and there's just not a lot in Montana. Honestly, finding a job in Montana was very difficult. Needle in a haystack type of thing. Opportunity definitely given from God. And so finding a PRN position is pretty difficult in this area. So I'm actively looking for that. I also wanted to wait a little bit of time before I started a whole different specialty. It's already a lot to learn at one job, let alone 2. Even if it's not a PA, looking at different ways to hopefully bring in some extra income. My third and fourth goals for my job are to get my ATLS certification, which is your advanced trauma life support, and then my ACLS certification, which had expired this past couple months. So I want to definitely get that renewed as well. I've heard the ATLS certification is really awesome, and so that's something. I have a bunch of CME money from my job that I get to use, and so hopefully I'll get to use that towards that certification this year. Moving on to personal, this kind of includes like my personal goals as well as some of our financial goals. Again, nobody prepares you after PA school of how much things cost and how much money you do not have. Yes, most PAs are in the 6-figure range, but we also have 6 figures of debt and haven't, been living off of credit cards, loans, whatever the case may be. You are still a broke student. So a lot of this year has been recovering from moving expensive, recovering from living off of credit cards for the last 6 months of PA school. A lot of recovery, to be quite honest. So a couple of my goals personally are to pay off our credit cards. We have 2 credit cards. One of them is almost paid off, and then the other one will start hopefully soon. So my goal this year is to pay both of those off. Another goal of mine is to make an emergency fund of around $10,000 to $12,000. I think that number is pretty high, to be quite honest right now, but my goal is to have 2 to 3 months of our expenses saved. And so that ends up to be around that number about for 3 months. Another personal goal is to buy a car. I sold my car back in June. So we've been a 1-car household for the past 6 months. And there are pros and cons to that, but there are a lot of cons. My boyfriend works from home most of the time, but there are a few instances where he hasn't been able to pick me up, or he's been working for different things, and my job is so unpredictable. I never get off at the same time of day. It could be 11 o'clock in the morning, which is very, very rare, or it could be 7 o'clock in the evening, which is most of the time. But there's just no predictability to it, and so we're kind of getting to the point where we need a second car. So that's something we're actively looking for right now, and hopefully we'll get in the next year. Another one of my personal goals is to learn how to snowboard. We almost have all the equipment, and there obviously are a lot of ski towns around us, and so we're trying to find some fun things to do in the winter. I've been once before, that was last year. So that's a skill that I'd like to learn and hopefully not suck at too much. I have another goal, very random, learn photography. My boyfriend is a full-time photographer and videographer, and I definitely would like to have some kind of basic skill set to do that, especially if I'm doing like YouTube and things like that. I'm not sure, honestly, how passionate I am about it, but I thought it might be a fun skill to explore, and obviously I have a great teacher for me and equipment and things like that, so might as well take advantage of it. But that's kind of like a loose, like no timeline really kind of thing. And my last goal is to consistently do YouTube for 6 months. I'm sure if you've had a YouTube channel or you've ever thought about it, it's really, really hard to keep up with. I am definitely concerned with the amount of hours that I work, but I've honestly been doing this for years of wanting to start, not starting, starting a little bit, quitting. And I really am just thinking to myself, like, if I commit to this for 6 months, like, what could happen? So that's something I'm pretty firm on with myself right now, that I wanted to commit to 6 months and really see how it goes. And at that point, if I'm not enjoying it, then it is what it is. But if I am and things are going well, like, I think that'll be an opportunity to prove to myself that I should continue to do it. So, and lastly, my travel goals for this year are quite extensive, but they're almost all in the area and I feel like pretty attainable. So my top 2 are Glacier National Park. It's about 6-7 hours away from us, and that trip is pretty much already planned. My best friend from PA school is actually going to fly out here this summer, and we're going to go to Glacier together and do some camping, so I'm really excited about that. Other ones are Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons. Yellowstone's about 2.5-3 hours from us, and we weren't able to go last year because of all the flooding, unfortunately. So they just opened the north entrance for the winter, but Yellowstone's really not a great time or great park to go to during the winter. So I'm hoping in the spring we'll be able to go there and then possibly make the whole trip with the Grand Tetons as well. Another big trip I'd like to do this year is to go to Banff National Park. That's about a 9-hour drive from us. So not terrible. I'd like to go do that in September this year for my birthday. I think the fall colors would be really pretty, and then just planning with getting time off of work and things like that, I think that would be a better time to do that. Some random ones, go to Las Vegas. One of my best friends from college lives there, and we've been talking about visiting each other for honestly years at this point. So I'd like to go out and visit him, hopefully for a weekend, hopefully after I start 410s and I don't have to take any time off. That would work. Some random cities, I'd like to go see Helena and Missoula. Helena is the state capital, and then Missoula is like a little fun, quirky college town in Montana, so we'd like to go visit those as well. Those are definitely could be like weekend trips or things like that. And then my last one is to drive the entire Beartooth Pass. Beartooth Pass is about 2-ish hours away from us, and we've driven parts of it, but because of the flooding this year, we were not able to drive the entire thing. And ideally, I'd like to drive the whole entire Beartooth Pass into Yellowstone and then come up and around again. So I think that's definitely an attainable goal, especially if we go to Yellowstone this year. We'll just drive the pass into Yellowstone. All right, guys, well, that is it for my 2023 January goals reset recap of my life in the past year video. I hope you guys enjoyed this and are excited to see more. I plan on doing my next video as a January budget with me. That's something I'm super passionate about. I get so much fulfillment out of watching people's videos and doing my own budget and financing and things like that. So hope you tune in for that, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.